Smart cities respond to people's need to live, travel, and network in more efficient ways. Digital transformation is boosting the evolution of parking in the same direction. There is more and more customer centric. Digital parking services shall integrate seamlessly for drivers along their journey and also provide useful customer data to operators and parking owners to feed and promote intelligent mobility. Of course, it will support the smart cities of the future, where journeys will span across transport methods to deliver better and cleaner customer experiences.
Will parking play a role in smart cities? Yes, parking will. The experience might be different if you're in a large city versus smaller community. So I believe large cities will have more automation that are data driven. Smaller communities may be more environmentally centric. But at the end of the day, when it comes to safety and automation and tracking, data is really going to be the determining factor in what capacity parking plays, but it definitely will be there.
At Brother Mobile Solutions, we're very excited to see the new initiatives that are emerging, certainly in the USA and Canada, regarding smart city initiatives that are often powered by IoT solutions. Even in the midst of that, we still see the need for coming up with creative parking solutions for commuters that need to individually commute in and out of urban areas. So for the future, we see a collaborative IoT smart city solution also including parking.
COVID-19 is expected to have a long-lasting impact on some forms of urban mobility. Public health is now an absolute priority, and congestion and air pollution continue to be at the top of the agenda. Heading to zero-emission transportation systems, cities should make a smarter use of data to improve mobility. Smart parking will definitely play a big role in urban areas, both today and tomorrow.
Parking will be a key component of future urban mobility. COVID-19 has brought individual mobility and car ownership back, big time. Parking will change. On-street parking will all but disappear, transient decrease, and new solutions for residential and commercial real estate will evolve.
At CCV, we believe that the provision of parking capacity and how it is paid for is an essential element of mobility strategy. Where the focus of mobility effort to date has been on bus, tram and trains, none of this works without adequate provision for the transition between private and public transport modes, a function that will require increasingly integrated parking delivery.
Smart cities is an unavoidable future trend, and parking will certainly play a big role in this. Recent years, IoT data, in this case on-street and off-street parking statistics, are required to be more transparent and available to public. The communication between physical devices to the public then becomes the key bridge in this ecosystem. Eventually, all parking-related information will be available to the public for access from anywhere, and that is why we believe parking definitely will have a role to play in smart cities.
Of course, parking is a key pillar in managing cities' mobility. Obviously, the approach on managing the parking will evolve in the future and will depend on the specific needs of each city. For instance, big cities will focus on managing added value parking spots, such as the ones dedicated to the loading and unloading zones or the ones dedicated for handicapped people. They will also invest in informing about park and ride parking availability to promote the public transport and thus reduce the congestion.
As we all know, the population in urban cities keeps on growing, and as a consequence, there will be a growing number of cars in more compressed cities in the future, which will negatively impact city traffic and the environment. So it's essential to develop smart parking to reduce traffic congestion and exhaust pollution, as well as to release drivers from struggling to look for a vacant space.
Well, we think so. Cars are still by far the most used mode of transport in cities. In the further future, car sharing may be a much wider embraced concept, and perhaps we will see a large portion of vehicles being able to drive autonomously. But even all these cars will not be on the move constantly, and they will need to park to wait for owners or next passengers. And while waiting, they may get serviced, charged or fueled. Parking facilities may change when it comes to the layout, the situation or purpose, but parking will be a necessity, also in the smart cities of the future.
I think the primary mainsprings for contactless parking are to provide a convenient service, save time, and protect ourselves as well as our environment. So in my point of view, parking has been well on its way going contactless. The pandemic simply sped up this process. Touchless parking is not just safe, but also a highly efficient, cost-effective, and comprehensive alternative to manual parking control.
I believe parking will play a major role in smart cities of the future. In a society where time is money, automatizing access and controlling every parking space is a must, but even more so in the future. The current situation has made fundamental changes in the way we interact with other people, and touchless options are preferable upon any others. Having a camera-based parking guidance system will be more and more of a requirement from customers that will put security and experience first.
Definitely, car parks are going to play a very important role in the smart cities in several different aspects. For instance, as a communication hub, but also as an energy efficiency. And let me put an example. We have products to charge electrical vehicles that specifically designed for the parking environments. So we are able to balance the energy required based on the occupancy. We also can handle when a bay is occupied without charging and advise that there is some intrusion on EV bay. So parkings are going to be very important to develop and to provide different services all around the cars.